Millions of people voted for a man who in 2016 was a political outsider, and many in the media, in the establishment, in polite D.C. company, laughed at the thought of Donald Trump in the White House. It'll never happen, they said back in 2016. Well, they're not laughing anymore. Just days before the 2016 election, the New York Times gave Hillary Clinton a 92% chance of winning on Election Day. All the while, polite company in Georgetown, in the bistros, in the salons, scoffed at the notion of Trump, this uncouth, unrefined, uncivilized reality TV star getting elected to the presidency. It'll never happen, they said. Well, they're not laughing anymore. Of course, Donald Trump would go on to win that election, shocking the political world. And for 4 years, those same Democrats, that same establishment, and the utterly useless corporate media worked against his administration starting on day one every single day. And yet Donald Trump, by all objective measures, inflation, mortgage rates, gas prices, wage growth, employment, housing, foreign policy, no wars, immigration, was able to piece together the most successful four-year period for any president this century. And in 2020, when Joe Biden somehow managed to get 81 million votes, my goodness, that's a number we've never seen before, and a number that for some reason no one wants to talk about today, a massive sigh of relief swept through those same Georgetown garden parties. People like Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, they were happy to move on. So were people like Rupert Murdoch and George Soros. Phew! Donald Trump was just an aberration after all, they said, a bad dream that we'll never have to deal with again. Well, they aren't laughing anymore. Donald Trump is not an aberration, because today, the man that everyone worked against, the man that everyone tried to wash their hands of, the man they tried to put in jail, bankrupt, impeach, and murder, Donald Trump is back and can never be called an aberration again. For the first time in his political career, Donald Trump is the definition of mainstream politics. Mainstream, also defined as normal, recognized, popular. And if you want proof of this, you've got to look in places that you wouldn't typically look. Ever since last week, since Trump won, Jeb Bush, son of a former president, brother to a former president, has been quietly tweeting his approval of one Trump cabinet pick after another. Last week, after Trump chose Susie Wiles as his chief of staff, Jeb tweeted, "She is a great choice for President Trump's chief of staff." I didn't realize that I followed him on Twitter when this popped up. Yesterday, he tweeted, "Mike Waltz is a patriot, a great choice." And just this morning, Jeb Bush said that Marco Rubio for Secretary of State was another fine choice. And you might be saying to yourself, but wait, I thought the Bushes hated Donald Trump. And you might remember Trump and Jeb on the debate stage 8 years ago. Take a look.
You want to talk about weakness? It's weak to disparage women. It's weak to disparage Hispanics.
I don't disparage.
It's weak to denigrate the disabled. And it's really weak to call John McCain a loser because he was a POW.
I never called him. No, I don't call him.
That is outrageous. This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is real tough. You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So far I'm doing better.
But the simple fact is,
excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to get
you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that. Look,
I was asked the question.
I didn't want.
All right, so why is Jeb suddenly tweeting nice things about Donald Trump? The answer is simple. Jeb wants back in. Jeb wants a seat at the table, and he knows the only way to get that is by playing nice. Again, they aren't laughing anymore. Donald Trump is mainstream now. He is political America, whether you like it or not. And while places like National Review are writing that the Bush era is over, Vanity Fair is writing that Trump's win was anything but a fluke. Think about that for a second. Dick Cheney endorsed Democrat Kamala Harris, but suddenly the Bushes are sucking up to Donald Trump. It has been a very strange but wonderful, joyous 7 days. And for all the right reasons, George W. Bush even congratulated Donald Trump. According to reports, Marco Rubio is going to become our next Secretary of State. Again, another remarkable moment. So many things at play here. But Donald Trump, besides being mainstream now, is also now magnanimous. Because I remember a time, and this wasn't that long ago, when Trump and Rubio were not so close.
In the short time that I've been here in Washington, nothing has frustrated me more than false choices like the one the president laid out tonight. The choice isn't just between big government or big business.
When they put Marco on to refute President Obama's speech, do you remember that catastrophe? And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television. That's what it.
That's a real laugh right there. And then there was, of course, the nickname, perhaps Donald Trump's greatest nickname of all time, and the moment when Donald Trump completely emasculated little Marco on the debate stage. Take a look.
I have a policy question for you, sir.
Let's see if he answers it.
I will. Don't worry about it, Marco. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, little Marco. I will.
All right, well, let's hear Big Don. Donald.
Don't worry about it,
All right, wait.
Don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen,
Let's hear it.
gentlemen.
All right, so little Marco is about to become Secretary of State. His job will now be to keep the United States out of pointless foreign wars. It's a big job. In choosing Marco Rubio, Donald Trump is not only showing what kind of leader he is, but he's also showing the world what type of man he is. To Trump, the past is the past. And years from now, if Marco Rubio ever runs for president and becomes president, he'll have Donald Trump to thank. And Marco has grown up a lot since 2016.
Senator Rubio, will you call for a ceasefire?
No, I will not.
Gaza?
On the contrary.
Senator Rubio,
are you filming it?
wait,
I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes, and I hope you guys post that.
And
that's
what
my
about the
position.
civilians
I
that are
blame
being
Hamas.
killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you
underneath
don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Well done, Marco Rubio. Donald Trump right now putting together something that we haven't seen since Abraham Lincoln, a true team of rivals. Yet somehow, CNN today managed to write a piece claiming that loyalty is somehow a bad thing. Here's the headline. Donald Trump's emerging team of loyalists is primed for a fast start in his second term. Ooh, loyalists. Somehow CNN is trying to argue that Donald Trump prioritizing loyalty is a bad thing. I've got news for you, CNN. Loyalty is not a negative, particularly in politics and in life. It is not novel. Do you think that Barack Obama valued loyalty when he picked his cabinet? Do you think Bill Clinton might have valued loyalty? Something tells me they did. I don't know for a fact, but something tells me they did. And if you want an example of just how much the Democratic Party has changed, listen to Bill Clinton doing his State of the Union in 1995.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan.
Can you imagine Donald Trump saying that at the State of the Union in March? That might even be too far by Trump's standards come March. Maybe not. We were also told before the election that Donald Trump absolutely hated women and wouldn't work with smart women by a man who, surprisingly, we've heard very little from over the last week. Here's Mark Cuban.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them.
So what has Donald Trump over the last 7 days, Mark Cuban? Well, he's appointed several women to some of the most important, prominent roles in the federal government. Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, first appointment. Elise Stefanik will be our ambassador to the United Nations. Kristi Noem will head the Department of Homeland Security, and there are more to come. And if you were wondering if anything is going to change with the media, if they're going to turn the page, will Democrats learn from what just happened 7 days ago and try to work with the incoming president? Check out Newsweek today. Maybe Joe Biden was right. He could have beaten Donald Trump after all. The answer is becoming more and more clear by the day. Nothing is going to change. The media are going to treat Donald Trump exactly like they treated him in 2016. And Democrats are going to do the exact same thing because they haven't learned a thing. MSNBC right now is like a floating TV version of the Titanic. That looks like a Royal Caribbean ship, but close enough, right? The difference between 1912, when the Titanic went down, and today is MSNBC can see the iceberg. They know it's coming. They've got advanced GPS systems on board that vessel, but they're not going to change course. They're going to plow right into that thing. Donald Trump is going to meet with Joe Biden at the White House tomorrow, and when Dr. Jill invited Melania to visit, Melania politely declined. The soon-to-be First Lady has absolutely no interest in sitting down with Jill Biden and being fake and having tea after what Joe Biden has tried to do to Donald Trump for the last 3 years. The Biden DOJ has been trying to put Trump in jail. Melania, good for you. Good for you. That's got to be the most underrated power move of the last 7 days by far. You deserve credit. You shouldn't go to the White House. You'll be there soon enough, but when you go there, you'll have the keys. Melania absolutely loves her husband, and for anyone who doesn't believe that, look no further than that example right there. Donald Trump deserves the ability to start a second term with a clean slate. No Russia, a critical media, but a fair media. It's not going to happen, but wouldn't that be lovely? The man was just given one of the clearest mandates in U.S. history, and he deserves the chance to succeed or fail on his own. But we know that will not happen. So Donald Trump is full steam ahead. Because of that, they're not laughing anymore.